Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Lesboogie one-on-one show right here on Fresh Nation Radio, WJON. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. We're back, and we have a fantastic show for you this evening. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about some things that are going on. And yes, we are back. The team is in the building. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Some things going on, and we're going to, we're going to discuss a little politics, a little sports, a little this and that. And then personally, what's going on with us. But I'm so glad to be back here tonight. It's been maybe about a month or 3 weeks or so, and that's a long time for us. That's a real long time. I hope everybody's feeling good out there, ready to sit back and just enjoy the entertainment. We have a very special guest tonight. We're going to bring this young man on to do his thing, and I'm very excited about that. But first of all, let me just say hello to Dalia Manette, my co-host. How you doing, Dalia? What's going on?
Hey, Les, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain.
It has been a long time. I feel like we have been apart forever. Not that I miss Tattletale. I'm not saying, but I did miss you, Les.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. What's up, Tattletale? What's happening, man?
How's everybody doing? Before I go any further, just for the record, Dahlia, I never liked you. Well, listen. I'm having problems with my vision. I have to have this cataract surgery Thursday on my right eye. That song by Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Well, I'm like, yeah. I can't see us, I'm feeling around for everything. I went to this, I went to this girl's house. She gave me the address. I drove around for 3 hours because I couldn't see the damn house or see the address on the house. Drove for 3 hours. They end up running out of gas, and then I couldn't find my way to the gas station. Oh, it was a horrible night, man. But don't worry, when I get this eye done, Thursday, I'm gonna be able to see Mars. You watch. I'm gonna be able to see Mars. Huh?
Are you getting both eyes done or just one?
Yeah, I'm gonna get what they do. They do one eye, then like about a week or two later, they'll do the next eye.
So you actually can see them. All right. So
I'll be able to see them. Right. Am I sitting straight? I don't know what I'm doing. I can't see y'all. Am I sitting straight? How I look?
You can see you.
I got lotion on my face. How I look? I look okay?
You look all right.
You look like you.
All right. Okay. Tell me that make me feel good. You know I'm subconscious.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right, man. You're doing all right, man. With all the things that you've been through, brother, you are an amazing individual.
Exactly.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that for real.
Yeah.
So for real. What's going on in your life?
Oh, well, you know what's going on. Unfortunately, I lost my older brother.
Yes.
That's been very, very, very unsurreal, to be honest with you, man. It's like you sit in a suspended animation. It's like it's not even real. It's like it's not even real. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, wow, man, It's like we didn't see each other as often as I see my younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a phone call, things like that. But I'm kind of like in my mind, I'm kind of like, I just haven't made that call yet. I just haven't called him yet, that type of thing. And I know that's the way I'm coping with it. That's the way I, for now. But I know it's real. Trust me when I tell you. And everybody goes through that, and other people have gotten through it. I'm gonna get through it, and I'm gonna live on, using his memory, never forgetting. He's my older brother, so never forgetting the things that he taught me, that I learned from him, the examples that he led, and it will always be etched in my mind, straight up. Anything that he's 7 years older than me, so he was the type of older brother. This is the Vietnam days. He wasn't out there on drugs. He wasn't getting arrested. He wasn't acting a fool out there. He was a musician. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. He played music. He was a percussionist, a drummer, played with a lot of people. When Luther started off, he played with him. He played with Les McCann. He played with Esther Phillips. He played with Wilson Pickett, Smokey Robinson. So many other people. And we kind of got, my younger brother and I got that urge, that thing from him.
Mm-hmm.
to be involved in this. Is why we're involved in the business as we are now. You know, I remember being his young little roadies carrying his drums around when he was doing gigs. We you know, if we were old enough to get in, we would carry his drums. You know, and I met a lot of people. I met James Brown, Patti LaBelle, Jackson 5, and his mentor was a guy named Montego Joe, who was a percussionist for the Fifth Dimension. He also was involved with a lot of the it's a youth organization called the Harlem Act. It was out of Harlem, New York. This was back when Bumpy Johnson and it was running around. You know about it, Tattletale.
That's right, sure do.
Yeah, and it was for talented teens. So at 16,
That's right.
Montego Joe produced an album with nothing but teenagers. Nothing but teenagers. It says it was called The Sound of the Ghetto. My brother was fortunate enough to be one of those teens on that album at 16 years old. So I mean, you know, this has been forever for him, and it's like we're having this April 5th memorial. We're gonna do it musically. We're gonna do a musical memorial from all the guys that he played with. They're gonna come out, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens.
That sounds nice.
This is what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I truly appreciate that. You know, y'all will be there. Y'all will be there.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
How do you send a musician off? With
celebration
music.
through music.
Yeah.
You know, so we dealing with it. But you know what? It's like I have to share this. I'm like the oldest cousin right now. I'm the oldest cousin. You know what I mean? And I got a bunch of cousins under me, and I feel an obligation and responsibility now. There's some things that I'm gonna have to implement nicely. Firmly. One thing about family, you have to stay together.
Right.
That's right. Very important. Very important.
And with friends are family too. So it's not about the blood. It's about tell people how you feel about them while they're here, while you can enjoy one another. You know, whatever problems you had, if it's not that serious, get over it. Keep it moving, man. Come together. Stay together. Stay in touch. Don't hit me on Facebook. Call me. You know my number. And I have to do the same thing. So I got to get my little crew together, and my family together, man. So I just want to say to my brother, man, truly missed. Rest in peace, man. That's all I'm saying. Then
rest in peace.
Just deal with it one day at a time, man. So that's where I'm at, y'all.
Yeah.
This keep it moving. We got business. Go ahead, Dave. You want
exactly.
to say something?
I was just gonna say, you know, at this time in our lives, and especially in the climate that we're living in, we have to stick together. Families, community, we have to stick to it. Is more important than ever that we learn how to love each other through good and bad, and stick together as a community. Whether, you know, it's like you said, calling your family, calling your friends that you consider family, checking in on them, making sure that we are all okay, because this is going to be a bumpy ride, and we don't need to lose any more people than we have. We have lost within the last 2 or 3 weeks 3 or 4 musicians that we know of, whether it was Angie Stone or Roy Ayers, and one more besides your brother,
Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack, yeah.
That life is to be lived, and these people that are no longer with us, they gave us a great example on how to live our lives wholly, fully, 100% there. You know, Roy was a great man, and very kind and very giving. And I've never met Roberta Flack or Angie Stone. I know that through people I have talked to, that they were very special individuals, very special.
Yeah.
And this was a devastating blow to a lot of people.
Yeah. And with her accident, you know, she was the only one that actually died in the accident. There was quite a few people in the vehicle with her. So what does that tell you? And she, Little Rodney C from a group called the Funky 4+1. You familiar with them, Tattletale?
Yeah, I remember the Funky 4. Yeah.
They have a daughter together. They have a daughter together. He's from the Bronx, and they have a daughter together. So
Mhm.
a lot of she was in a group called Sequence.
Yeah, I remember Sequence. I
Remember that? Remember Sequence? Yeah.
remember Sequence. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny. We were just talking about bringing her to Dry's Loop. We was just talking about that.
Wow.
Just talking about that. And then this happens.
Wow.
So you just never know, man. Young man told me this. This guy told me, and he was younger than me. He's like, yo, listen, man, let me tell you something. You live once. He said, I'm going to live once, but I'm going to live a lot. In this one lifetime. And I was like, yo, I like that. I really, really like that. A lot in that one lifetime. It's just crazy. You know, it's just crazy. But the one thing I'm not going to do, I'm going to try not to do, I'm not going to live in fear.
Right.
No, you can't. You can't live in fear.
Can't do that. You got to keep it pushing regardless. You know,
Exactly.
You can keep going with fear and worrying about, what's going to happen. Nah, it's not the way to live. That's not life.
We've got too much work to do. And especially Les and I and Tattletale, you're along for the ride. We have so much work to do, whether it is in the music industry, whether it is in our nonprofit space, whether it is in corporate America. I don't even think that we've even had time to just sit and breathe, since the beginning of the year. So life, like he said, life is for living, and live it up. Live it up. But I do have to tell you all something So a couple of weeks ago, I was in New York City for 3 days in Manhattan. First of all, let me tell you, I'm so happy I no longer live in New York. It was just sensory overload for me. But I attended the New York Black NBA Business and Lifestyle Festival. Anybody ever get a chance to go to one of those conferences or those festivals? Go. It is phenomenal. It is Black excellence at its peak. This conference was 2 days. They had a networking the first night, and then we had all of these different sessions where they talked about travel, investments, how to gain sponsors if you're a small business. They had how to dress for people who really want to learn how to dress professionally or just learn how to dress, for themselves. Vacation spots. It definitely was a business and lifestyle conference. I had such a great time. And then to close it off, they had this big Black gala where you had to wear black. And it was at the Virgin Hotel. Great hotel, great staff. Please, if you ever or support and I'm always saying this really slow because it's long. It is the NB National Black MBA Master of Business Administration Association. So NBMBAA. It is great.
Nice.
Attend it if you can. I had a great time. And then I went to Massanutten, which I finally learned how to pronounce it. Massanutten, Virginia.
What's out there?
I turned around, picked up my dog, some luggage to go spend some time with my family for the weekend. And so Massanutten, Virginia is sort of it's a mountain area where they have ski resorts and stuff like that, which I didn't think there were ski resorts in Virginia. So we went there for a weekend to celebrate my cousin Chandra's birthday. Happy birthday again. You celebrate the whole month of March. And just being around my cousins, and these are all my cousins that we grew up together and were sort of like brothers and sisters, spending time with and I call them my nieces and nephews, although they're my little cousins. I saw each and one of them born as infants.
Wow.
And they're grown now. They're in their 20s and with girlfriends and all kinds of nonsense going on.
Bro, that's
it just brings to mind, how much you love family, whether you want to strangle them or not.
Sometimes it's like that, but love them anyway.
Yes.
Exactly. Give me some news, man, before we bring the gentleman on. We want to have him wait too long. I know you wanted to hit off some of that Trump news for us real quick.
Go ahead,
Well, it's just like he's just making a complete fool of not just himself, but of the USA. because what the office of the president of the United States is almost like a corporate office. He's the face of of the United States, and the things that he says, this whole thing about Greenland, this whole thing about with Canada now, this whole thing with Mexico renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and these tariffs on Canada. Now Canada is retaliating. You know, they're talking about shutting off the hydroelectric power to northern New York. I think Michigan, and it's one more state.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. There it is. There it is. I mean, the crap that this guy's doing, and the way they insulted Zelensky. Why you never wear a suit? This man ain't worrying about buying no darn clothes. He's fighting the Russians, and you gonna ask him something stupid like that? I mean, I'm like,
war.
Yeah, he's at war. His country is under siege, and you're gonna ask this man how come he don't have a suit on,
or to say
how come he ain't got a suit on?
As a country, it is embarrassing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And then to show him going to Europe and how they warmly welcomed him, you know, and you have to sit there and think, are we the enemy now? Or have we put ourselves in the position of being an enemy?
Unfortunately, we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are.
They are, because we're not his enemy.
Exactly.
That's where it's supposed to be. I understand your point, but it's not us. It's him. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They talk about touching Social Security. They talk Veterans Administration. They talk about touching anybody's money. Try that and see what happens. It's going to be a big
Department of Education. Yeah, a lot of crap. But you know what's funny? All of his supporters, the people that voted for him, most of them are armed. Okay. Now they already got a pass when they marched on the Capitol back in what was that, 2020, I believe. January 6th, 2020.
I think it was 2020.
Okay, they got a pass on that. All right, they got a pass on that.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, he's gonna piss them off so bad they're gonna march in the White House. You watch. You watch.
I don't know about that.
No. I'm telling you.
We'll see.
If you gotta look at the dynamic of the history of this country, that spirit of rebellion, rebellion. That's how the War of 1812 actually got started. They tell you that Great Britain was kidnapping American soldiers off ships, saying that they had AWOL or mutiny from British ships. That wasn't true. The real reason why that war happened, because these Americans were believing in that manifest destiny, and they believed that it was the manifest destiny from God that America would rule basically the whole Western Hemisphere. And they went up to Canada and they burnt up some government buildings. That's when the British retaliated. They burnt down the White House. Yep. In the War of 1812. That's right.
Facts. Okay.
The spirit of rebellion. The spirit of rebellion.
Well, you know, I asked you for a little news, and you just go.
Yeah,
we need to change the tone here.
When that call hits me,
That's good though. I'm glad you know that. We got to come and teach an African class for us, man. That African history class. We get that from you. But look. Let's do this. We got the gentleman waiting. Dahlia, please introduce the guest so we can get this party started. Yes, sir.
Yes. I am so happy and so pleased and so grateful that he made time in his busy schedule to a person I consider a brother. He is a fantastic and phenomenal musician. He has been Grammy nominated, 3-time NAACP nominated. His star is shooting. And I have to say that one is he helped me to focus on my business of managing artists, because I did take him on as an artist. And he showed me the resilience and the persistence of what it is taking for him to be the next great legend. And so it is my honor and my pleasure to bring to the stage Mr. Nathan Mitchell.
What's up, Joe? How y'all doing?
Miss Flowers, Miss Sarah. All right. How you doing, brother? How you feeling,
Man,
man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on the show. We've been trying to work this out for a minute.
Yeah.
Got it done.
Yes.
Finally got it done. We appreciate you taking your time to do this. We really
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah, we're glad that you're here. Yep.
And if anybody knows Nathan is one of the artists that has this big fan club that is huge. And wherever Nathan is, you could at least see 4 or 5 of them there in the audience. So they travel all around the world for him.
You got a name for them, Nathan? What's their name? What's the name of the fan club?
They call themselves the Chocolate Factory.
Uh-oh.
The Chocolate Factory. Uh-oh.
Now, do I have to wonder why? I can understand.
Okay. They don't play. Don't mess with Nathan Mitchell.
Uh-oh.
All right.
First of all, before we start on your journey, tell us how this chocolate, because you didn't start it. Tell us how this fan club actually started.
I did not start it. It just kind of like happened. It just, I don't know. It just happened. It's like it's so
we're going to take you from the beginning. So you started playing piano at what age?
I was playing 9
years old.
9 years old, somewhere around there.
Was it did you start in school, or was it something that your parents made you start taking piano lessons?
Actually, what happened is I was actually playing drums in church. I started playing drums in church when I was 5 years old. So
wow.
I was playing. My father was directing choirs, and my father's god brother, he and I are close in age. In fact, he's like roughly like 3-4 years older than me. So he was playing keyboard. Now he was trained, all the above, and I was playing drums. My dad plays bass guitar, lead guitar, drums, and keyboard, but he didn't play that much. But his god brother, which was pretty much best friend, he was playing. So one day we were in church, and I just kind of like was just sitting over there looking at him playing. I was like, "Show me that." So he was like, he showed me three notes, and I was like, "So what's the science?" Well, of course, in a 8-year-old's voice, how do you move? So he showed me a song, one song in it, and he showed me a basic triad. So we had a piano in our house. My dad was military, and every day when I got out of school, every day, because my parents they worked for the military, so there was about 4 hours no one was home. We used to be there by ourselves. So, and I just sat at the piano all day playing that one chord, and I was moving it, and then I was figuring out how to play songs that I could. For some reason, I could hear certain things. I was like, oh, okay. So then we would go to church. I would hear certain songs, and I would go home, and then I could hear the parts. So that's how I started. And then it just kind of morphed itself when one day I just took the risk. I was like, I'm gonna play in church today, and I went up and I played. And I was like, what? Like, okay. So it just kind of happened. And then from there, I have an aunt that plays. She showed me some things. I have 2 aunts that played. One of them is no longer with us. She passed away. But she showed me some things. And then I have my other aunt. She showed me some stuff. And it was just kind of like I started picking up little things on the way from different musicians. And everything I learned, I always came home and I played it on the piano. We had a record player. We had some tapes. And I would always go put on these records, and I would just sit there. Funny thing, I put on a lot of gospel records. I used to listen to at that time Milton Bronson. Love that Bronson album. I would put it on and I would try to learn every song that was on it. And I couldn't play the chords, but I could hear certain notes, so I would just finger it out, and it just kind of went from there.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So before you became a star, you were. For some people who think, okay, you just play by ear, that's not true, because at some point you actually learn how to read and write music, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So,
Yeah. So
go ahead and tell people where you went to school.
I didn't learn how to. This is funny. I did not learn how to read music in high school like most people. When I was in high school, they kind of cheated me on my education because I was very advanced in my playing. In fact, I was taking lessons one time. My mother had me in these lessons one time, and this is when Whitney Houston's I Believe the Children Are the Future that came out. Well, the piano instructor asked me to go learn the song, by reading it. I was saying to myself, I don't feel like doing all that. I'm not going to do all that. So what I did, I went and got tape and learned it just like the record. I learned how to play that song, every note just like the record. So we go to this. I think I was like 13 at the time. We go to the piano instructor, and my mom was in the room, and the lady's sitting there, and I'm at the piano, and it's funny. The music is sitting in front of me, and I'm playing, and I'm turning the page, playing, and not reading anything on it. I'm just turning the page. I just know where to turn the page. I know where to turn the page. So I'm playing, turn the page. So my mother is like, "Oh my God, he killing it. This is great." And she all proud. And that lady said he sounded really good, but he ain't played nothing on that paper. He said, so in school, I was kind of, cheated through my education, because what they would do for me is they would basically just give me the songs, and they would use me as the soloist, because I could do little jazz solos and all that stuff. They would use me as a soloist so I never had the pressure put on me to learn how to actually read. I knew your basic, how to read a staff, how to read a bass note, all that. But as far as putting my hands on a keyboard, looking at it, being able to read the notes like this, I couldn't do that. So when I went to college, I decided to go, I went to college. I first had a scholarship to play basketball. I flunked out of school for that because I didn't want to go to class. So then I went back to school, decided I want to go back to school for something that I was good at, because everyone at the time was telling me, family, everyone was telling me, there is not a career in music. There's no career in music. You need to find you a real job and find you a church, whatever, but there is not a career in music. So I decided to go to school for music. When I went to school for music, the first thing they asked me was, do you have any experience playing? And that was the first time that I told one of my biggest lies ever. I said no. I said no. And the reason is I was married at the time, and I told my wife, I told them no. I said, because I feel like if I tell them yes, they're gonna cheat me. Yeah. I don't want them to treat me no different than the person that knows nothing. I said, I have a lot of knowledge, and I know how to, I really can play. At that time, I was playing for some heavy hitters on the gospel scene. Definitely proud that this not work out, but I was actually signed to Bad Boy, when I was as a producer.
Wow.
As a producer, it didn't work out. Wow. But the deal was the showing the fact that I got signed by them at that age, that was big. So at the end of the day, I told them no. I said I did not know how to play. And so guess what? They taught me all the stuff that I was missing. And so, but the thing was that whenever I went to the keyboard, they was like, all right, this is what we're going to play. I literally was like, okay. And nobody knew me in the room. Nobody knew me. I'm literally going through it, just like everybody, I'm guessing that stuff. So, and that's literally how I went. That's how I went through my undergrad. So when I went, it's funny because when I got to uh, my senior year, second semester, because I had went to school, instead of me going as an instrumentalist, I chose to do it as a vocalist, so I was a voice. So I learned a whole lot of different languages, German, French, Italian, all these different languages, singing arias and operas and so on, so on. And I was singing all this stuff, and there was one song that I was trying to learn how to sing. I was having problems with it. I could not voice it right. And it was just like, it was a Verdi song. The key was kind of high. I was a B, at that time they called me a B flat C tenor. So it was like I was not necessarily a countertenor, but I was a bari with tenor, second tenor range, first tenor range, like very high tenor range. So I was like, you know what? The best way I can learn this is that I just got to play the song. And I chose to play the song instead of like a classical way. I chose to play it like soul, R&B, gospel. I'm in the practice room playing the song and I'm singing it, and now it's registering. My principal instructor walked by the room and she looked in the room and was like, you could play all this time. I was like, yeah. Like, we know damn well we needed some piano students and you could play all this time. He let me have it. But I was like, too late now. That's the last semester. I'm out of here. That's how I learned how to. I had literally, I had to take, I had to just say no. I had to shut down the treatment and just become a basic individual, a person, no knowledge, and literally have to learn that way. And I'm thankful that I did it because I feel like I'm so much more of a better musician now because, I would have been stuck like a lot of musicians, just stuck with a great ear, but no exposure to different genres, educational aspects of the industry. I could talk to you about anything classical, from the romantic age, from all types of aspects. When I was in school, because I did that approach, I was one of the top 5 conductors for orchestra.
Right.
So I got exposed to jazz. I was already doing gospel, but classical music became a very, very strong part of my musical journey with that.
Sounds good. Nathan, where are you from originally?
I was born in Panama City, Florida.
Oh, okay.
I was born there, but my dad was military. So wherever the military took us is where I'm from.
Right.
So we spent a lot of time, summer everywhere. A lot of my musical roots and all that stuff come from the DC area, the VA area. My biggest influences come from there. I got a lot of family in DC. We go to south side of DC, near I think it's Andrews Air Force Base.
Yeah.
We had a little cookouts and all that little stuff over there. We playing go-go music over there the whole time, going to the little go-go.
Chuck Brown.
So it was like a lot of my exposures came, really my major influences came from their church, and that's pretty much it. But where I'm from, wherever the military took us.
So let me ask you this question. When you were coming up, before you went on your own or started to really develop, who was that person? Who was that neighborhood musician or group that you looked at and said, hey man, this guy is nice, he's good, man, I want to be like that, or influenced you or kind of gave you the inspiration to do what you're doing?
I did not have that one guy. Like I said, because we moved all the time. We just, in fact, some of the people that I was learning, kind of like we all kind of just grew up together, but we never stayed in a place long enough for me to just gravitate to that one guy. One of my good friends, and we used to sit down and trade stories all the time. And I mainly didn't even trade stories. I just listened to him. Of course, is Najee. And Najee would sit there and tell me about all these people from the neighborhood. And I'm like, I wish I had that exposure and that culture, but I didn't necessarily have that. But I'm thankful for what I did have, because when we lived in Texas, I got exposed to a Tim Johnson, who was a crazy organist. and he's poured some stuff. Or when I, spent some time in Florida, I got exposed to this dude named Gary that showed me how to play a 5-finger chord for the first time. And I'm like, damn, I gotta figure out how to stretch my hand to do that. Or I moved here, met this guy. It was like when we was in certain areas, I met certain people, and it was almost like they were assigned to meet me. Exactly what I mean, but it was never one person. It was like a melting pot I got exposed to.
Okay. Wow.
So let me ask you a question. When did you go from playing church music and playing for the church into playing for all of these different artists and starting to come out on the stage and meeting these big artists that you know now? When did that happen?
That was 2011. In fact, the exact month was April 2011. First gig was Mother's Day weekend 2011. Never forget it. 2011. That was exactly short story. My wife was sick with cancer 2009 and 10. She got the cancer in 2010. I was not playing anything. I literally stopped playing. I shelved music, all that stuff. And I got a phone call. I never forget. I got a phone call in April of 2011 from a very close friend. We were in Florida in Tampa Bay, and he was like, "Hey, I got a show, and man, the keyboard player, da 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 da." And I was like, "Bro, I've never played this music before." I said, "The only thing I know about smooth jazz," I said, "I know about Najee. I know about That's the Way Love Goes, whoever that dude is that plays that guitar." That's exactly how I said it. Whoever plays that song, and I say,
Was that Norman Brown?
Norman Brown.
I didn't know.
It was Norman Brown.
It was Norman Brown. I didn't even know his name. And I said, and I know Kenny G. That's it. That's all I know. And he said, "You will be fine." And I said, "I'm really not interested in playing, man." I was like, the situation, I was still grieving. So he was like, "Man, I really pulled the big brother, little brother card." So I did it. So when I did it, my first artist that I ever played for, it was Marcus Anderson and Will Donato. Those are the first two artists I played. And I played for them, met them. We played at the Funky Biscuit in Boca Raton.
Funky Biscuit.
Funky Biscuit just opened up. We played there, and we brought our stuff in. They were literally Funky Biscuit was just getting started. So we go in there, we do the thing. It was an emotional night. Everything that I was bottled up inside, it came out of my fingers. I mean, it was it was crazy. And after that gig, I remember Will Donato went back to his management company at the time and told them about me. And they called me and asked me would I be interested in playing for their roster. And so I said yes. And so at the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a very good friend in Tampa Bay. I would get a phone call. He was like, "We want you to play for this guy." So I'd be like, "Who is that?" They was like, "Well, he has good music." I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" So I would call my friend Marlon Boone. Marlon, "Hey man, who's Gerald Albright, brother?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know that. Who is that?" He was like, "Man," he would give me the history, and I go learn the music. "Who's Jakeem Joyner?" "Man, come on, man." I was like, "I don't know these people." He's like,
Right.
It was like I was in school all over again. Smooth jazz is my newest musical language. Language.
How long you been playing? How long have you been playing smooth jazz? When did you start?
2011.
2011. Okay. Wow. Okay. So prior to that,
when I got the phone call is when I started.
Is when you started.
That's amazing. So prior to that, it was gospel. Mainly.
One more time.
Prior to that, it was gospel music mainly.
And gospel, you can run me some gospel music all day, or run me some '90s R&B. I was
okay.
on. Yep.
Okay.
So let's
So
jump forward then. So when did you decide it's time for me to become a solo artist?
I was on tour. I got a phone call to go to Kosovo. Now, Kosovo,
Whoa.
that's one of the newest countries in the world.
Yeah.
I was I was invited to go to Kosovo with Jesse J, the jazz artist.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine by the name of Nate Najar, who was a guitar player and very heavy in the kind of like the traditional classical flamingo styles. He was
Mm-hmm.
the music director. He said, "Hey man, you want to go?" I was like, "Yeah." So when we went over there, we all just bonded really well. And I mean, and of course, even though I had not released any music, I had wrote some songs and wrote a couple things. And then there was this one song that I had wrote that was a tribute to my wife, after her passing. I let Nate hear it, and he was like, "Dude, you need to release some music." And I was like, I never thought of it. I was like, okay, um, what do I do? So he literally called his label and was like, "Look, I want you to meet someone." Da 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 da. I met him. I let him hear the song. They loved the song, and then they said, "Well, you got to write a new song." And I was like, "Well, why?" They was like, "This is a great song, but it's too emotional for the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's not." I'm like, "What does too emotional mean?" I'm like, it's a heart song. So I did the song. I didn't really know, even though I was playing the genre, and it's something different. A lot of, especially if there's any musicians out listening, artists. It's one thing to play the genre, but it's another thing to understand and know how the genre moves and operates. Because I
Right.
can play music all day, but I did not know the structures
mm,
of songs and the sonic connections of how to apply different sounds to songs to make it sound like smooth jazz. Because my songs that I wrote before sound like a whole lot of gospel songs or R&B songs, mainly gospel songs, because that was my major influence. So when that happened, I want to say that happened in 2014. And when
Mm-hmm.
I got after that started, I had a single deal to do a single with that record company. Um, After that, it was kind of like I started going to school. I was touring with multiple artists. Nick Coleon, my primary artist, he's no longer with us, but amazing guitar, top 10 chart builder on the smooth jazz. And I would watch his shows. I would watch his shows. Okay, Nick did a funk song. He did a slow song. He did this. Oh, his intro is this. This is the groove. There's a verse. Oh, okay. There's a pre-chorus. All right. There's a chorus. All right. I'm literally writing this stuff down in the show. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There's another verse. He does a double chorus, a funk section, and he vamps out and just goes crazy soloing. So I came home and listened to albums of everybody, and I was like, oh wow, these are structures. This is the A
Right.
section, B section, and I learned now how to put the puzzle together of that.
Mhm.
All right, they're vamping the song, put the strings here, put this here, put that there. Now I'm learning. So now as an artist, my first Billboard song, Inspiration. I released that song in 2017. I called it Inspiration because it was inspired by all of the artists that taught me structure.
Wow.
And that's
That
how
actually came up the charts. That came
it,
to 22 on Billboard.
yeah, yep. I think it was like
Right.
22.
Yeah.
Wow.
First Billboard song.
Right. So
Wow.
when did you feel confident that you were going to do this and you were going to go with it 100% as a solo artist?
I got a push from Nick Coleon.
Mm-hmm.
I pushed, and it was kind of like, all right, I'm writing this music. I want to release it. He was like, go for it. And it was funny. He was setting up for me opportunities for me to open for him. And that's kind of how things kind of transpired. Never forget this. We were in Jacksonville, Florida. We was playing for a series there on the beach. It was like a Jacksonville Jazz Festival. And it was Nick Coleone. I think Jesse J was on the gig, and I was the opener. They gave me 45 minutes. I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I was just like, I'm out. So I just did a lot of stuff did some stuff that was common and familiar. Went out to the audience. I had my guitar with me. People loved it. So then I go back to the CD table and I'm ready to sell CDs. And I look, and Nick is back there selling my CDs. And I'm like, what you doing, man? He was like, hey, black boy, I'm trying to get some money, man. So it's kind of like, after I got that CD money and that extra money from the gig, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this.
That'll do it. That'll do it. That'll do it. Nigga, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What was one of your biggest thrills besides that? And like, what was that wow factor like when you performing that really blew your mind, man? You said, wow, I'm really doing this, man. I'm really, really doing this. Have you gotten to that point yet? Or up until this point, what has been that one that just like made you say, man, I can't believe I'm doing this and the way I'm doing it?
When I did my first year at Seabreeze,
okay,
that message, it's like it validated everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because my first year at Seabreeze, I'll talk about it now. I talk about it then. My first year at Seabreeze, they had a rising star position. At this time, Dahlia was managing me at the time. Dahlia, was you at Seabreeze? I think you were.
No, I didn't go to it, but I got the calls.
So we're at Seabreeze, and this is after COVID. I want to do something different. I really want to stretch out and do something big. They called me and said, we're gonna give you a rising star spot. Now, the funny thing is, once again, I feel like these were like God assignments.
Mm-hmm.
The rising star spots were always in the middle of the day when nobody was out there.
Yep.
Like nobody was out there. And I'm talking about the rising star spots was like a 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock spot. Dahlia's my witness.
Yeah.
The year they called me, that was the first time they had a rising star spot before the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
So they called me to perform rising star spot, which was like a 7:15 spot before Boney James on a Saturday night.
Wow.
Now, mind you, this is not Thursday, Friday. Those are travel days. I got the night that everybody is there now. You didn't travel, then you there, and you there for the festival. And I never forget, we got the bet. So they said, we're giving you $5,000.
Yep.
They said, we're going to give you $5,000 this. God's my witness. Everybody that played the Rising Star slot got that $5,000, and what they would do is they would call, get the local bands, get this, get that. I said, I'm not doing that. I want to do something special. I called Dahlia. I said, I want my horn section. I want everybody there. I had members saying, but it's only, I was like, if you don't like it, stay home. I will get someone that wants to be there. I flew just with flights alone.
Mm-hmm.
I spent between flights and salaries for who I wanted there. I had already exhausted all my money.
Imagine,
Wow.
So at this point, I was talking to some friends about it. They was like, man, you taking a loss. I'm like, I'm not taking a loss. I said, this is my investment.
Yeah.
This is my investment. So I started investing. I went to LA. I met this dude, Marvati. He was like, man, what's going on? I said, yo, I want a suit, this color. ... He made me a suit, that color. I want this. I want sparkles. I want this. I want the whole nine. Got all of that. I got the band there, full band, keyboard, bass, drums, guitar, horn section. And I'm talking about, and I was like, I want all this. In this room over here, there was Boney James was in this room. Norman Brown was in this room.
Wow.
Norman just came off stage. I was supposed to get this room. He went in the room and chose to stay there. So I'm in a common area with all the musicians. I am one of them because I am a backing guy. So what I did, I had to get dressed, everything in front of them, and all I hear is this the whole time. Whole time. That's all I hear. Whole time. And I'm sitting up there like, it was like, so we got up. I don't know what happened. Something happened. Everyone cleared the room. Band goes on stage. I just say a prayer back down. My God, if this is for me, if it's for me. First note, horn section, band strikes, plays EWF. Da 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 da. Crowd starts hollering.
Yeah.
That when I walk out on stage, it was like just smooth sailing. Went through the show, people was up dancing. It was crazy. Sherry Shepherd was at that show for her birthday. Comes to me after I'm in fan mode. Takes her phone out. She's taking pictures. All this other stuff. We go to the CD table. I had 500 people at my CD table, sold out of everything.
Nice.
Wow. Wow.
That was that moment. That was that moment.
It was crazy. And it was like, it was crazy. So then the next 2 days later, I get a phone call. Yo, go look on TV. I'm like, what? You don't want the Sherry Shepherd show? I was like, what?
On the Sherry Shepherd show, yep.
I was like, what? So she was like, I went to this festival, da-da-da-da-da. She said this. I was with Najee, Boney James, Norman Brown, and Nathan Mitchell. I was a side guy.
Exactly.
I was a side guy before the show started. And when she got done saying what she said, I became an A-list artist.
There you go.
Wow.
That
There
was,
you go.
So that was the moment that I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. Well, you answered that question. That's for sure. You answered that question. That was it.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Sir.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Nathan, question. As you were coming up as a young guy, was there any iconic jazz pianist that you really admired or that really inspired you?
Herbie, I love Herbie, man.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. That was the man. Yep.
I couldn't play.
Yep. I can see that. I can see that.
I couldn't play none of his, but I loved him.
For that chameleon and watermelon man, yeah.
It's funny because Herbie Hancock, the guy, when they did Rocket, right?
Yep.
You know the guy scratching? DST, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That young man comes out of my practice.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, remember that. Yep.
Drummer. My brother taught him how to play
from
drums.
Eastmore? Get out of here.
Yeah, my brother taught him how to play drums. Then
get out of here.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. Herbie, bad man, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Last year, I got a chance to see him for the first time. Man, that was just phenomenal.
So you have, and I know we're coming up on a time, but you had some great news 24 hours ago.
Absolutely.
Tell everybody what's happened.
So my song that I did not originally write for myself, that the artist that I wrote it for decided they didn't want to record it, so I chose to record it.
Okay.
That song went #1 on Billboard yesterday.
Wow.
I got
the song.
As of today, I have my 5th #1 Billboard song.
Yes.
Beautiful. What's the name of that song, Nathan?
So in Love with You, featuring Chelsea Green.
Wow. Let's take a listen to that right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nathan Mitchell, #1 song. Let's go. Hey. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that violin takes you someplace else, man.
Yeah.
I won't even hear no more.
Yep. That's Chelsea Green, a talented violinist. She is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's next for you, Nathan? Tell us what's next. What's coming?
Well,
What's new?
Getting ready. We're getting ready.
Before you do that,
Hmm?
for those of us here in the New Jersey, DMV, Philly area, May 1st, you will be at.
Is it May 1st? No,
It's May 1st.
May 1st. I think it's May. It's the first weekend of May.
It's the first weekend of, we'll put the first weekend of May
I gotta
at
check.
a club called.
This is what we used to do all the time. We talk about scheduling. Me and Daddy. This is what we used to do all the time.
In Philadelphia, South. The club is called South.
Yes. You know what that's? Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
What's the name of the place, David? What is it? What's the name of the place?
South.
South.
From South Restaurant and Jazz Club.
What's the date? You have the date there?
And hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. You know me and my trusty phone.
Come on, sugar mama.
Hold on 1 second. Upcoming performance.
No, you're right.
I thought it was May 1st because anything that's my birthday month, I say is happening.
May 1st.
Didn't you just have a birthday? How many birthdays do you have a year?
One, but I celebrate the whole month. The whole
Yeah,
month.
May 18th. May 18th her birthday. May 18th.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
So Nathan, in the meantime, where can people find you? They want to get in touch with you. They want to hear your music, the name of the new album, and some of your other releases, just some information on you, how people can get in touch with you.
Well,
Pages, stuff like that.
music-wise, you can get me. I'm on all streaming platforms from Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you stream or choose to want to stream your music. You can find my body of work and collection of music there under Nathan Mitchell. As far as social media, definitely, if you're on Instagram, follow me on Mitchell Official. And if you find me on Facebook, it's Nathan Mitchell Music Page. Those are the two primary that I'm on. So definitely lock in. I'm always posting about different events and what's happening currently and all of the above. So definitely, I would love to connect with you all. And then my website, of course, is nathanmitchellmusic.com, where you can sign up, be on the newsletter, and you can totally be informed and get first dibs on anything that's happening and going on. So,
you know what I wanted to tell you as well. Hold on, Dad. I want to tell you as well. Your horn section, I saw a video. Them cats is cold, man. That horn section.
Oh, horns, yes.
Those are bad mans right there. You got some really good and they moving. I saw the one where you was matter of fact, hold on. I think I might have to play that too, man. I might have to play that too because you had I think it had a walkway, and I think you were playing, and then they all stepped out together down this walkway. That was tough. That was tough. I like that. That was, and the clothes, man. Who's your stylist, man? You wear some stuff there, brother. Look, some really nice stuff there, man.
Look, people ask me this question all the time. Who is your stylist? I'm gonna tell you who my stylist is, and get ready for this because I'm only gonna give it to you one time.
I know it is. I know it is already. Go ahead.
Church.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's how
Really?
That's what we did. We was Pentecostal kids. We had to get dressed for church. Tie your tie, coordinate the colors. We had Easter Sunday. You had to be. So it's like it just became a way of life. So
yeah,
that's my stylist, the local church.
That's so funny.
That is doing you well. Doing you well, man. Doing you well. Dad, you want to say something?
I you know what, Nathan, you know how I feel about you. I will say this. I am blessed to know you because just as you have grown, I have grown along with you. And you have made me come out of my comfort zone to do the things that I have dreamed of doing.
Love that.
And to take the chance to do things differently. So when we first met, I asked you the question of, do you want to be a star or do you want to be a legend? And you have continued that. And you said to me, I want to be a legend. And
Absolutely.
your trajectory is that of a legend. And I'm so proud to know you. And I'm so proud of what's coming up and all the things that you're doing. And you still got to take me to the Grammys when you are winning. I'm supposed to be your date for the Grammys. You lose 160 pounds and look gorgeous on camera for nothing.
That's right. That's right.
And Nick, let me ask you this before you go to let's talk to some struggling artists out there that are not moving as fast as they would like to move.
Mm-hmm.
Progress is not coming as quickly, or it's not coming the way they want it to come. What would you say to them in terms of the music business and the journey?
You have to learn. First thing I'll say is maximize the moment. It's funny that this question comes up. I was thinking about this today. I read a book by T.D. Jakes when I was 19. It was Maximize the Moment. For some reason, I cannot remember none of the content, to be very honest with you, of that book. But I just remember that title sticks with me. Maximize the moment. I don't care how small, big, whatever it is. Small club, 3 people, 30 people, 300, 3,000. Maximize every moment. Treat every moment as if it's the last one, and treat every person in that moment as if they're the biggest deal.
Mm-hmm.
As
I like that.
If they're the biggest person. That person in the room, they might have on a nurse's uniform, but they could have just as much influence as a Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
So you perform at that level all the time.
Exactly.
And then exercise, know what patience is. You got to have a lot of patience, and you got to know that what sacrifice is as well. But you have to be willing to sacrifice. If nothing else, Seabreeze, my first show at Seabreeze, that $5,000 that got exhausted within minutes from flights to all of that taught me the true value of sacrifice. And it also taught me how the importance of when you invest in yourself, you can expect a great harvest from that. You are your best investment.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't believe in you, why should anybody else?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And listen, we want to thank you. Thank you for coming out, and you're welcome back anytime, man. Anytime we'll follow you. We'll send you a copy of this and make sure that you have that as well. You can post it wherever you want to post it. And we'll definitely let people know about you from our standpoint, our little push that we can do, because the music is great. The music is great. That one song we was able to do that. You have a lot of music. How many albums have you had so far?
I don't know.
That many?
Let's get them all.
Okay, so get them all. So that's the point. You have a lot of music. This gentleman has a lot of music out there. If you don't know who he is, well, now you do from our standpoint. And if you don't, you better go find out. You better get his music, support him, support what we do, because the music is actually smooth. It's smooth. It's funky. It's all that. It's emotional. It's all that good stuff, man. And you can sit back. I was like you, Tattletale. I was grooving, man.
My eyes was closed, man. I wasn't even here no more. I was out of my body, man.
So that's really, really special, man. And the gift that that you've been given is a gift not only to you, but it's a gift to everybody else, man. So we appreciate the talent and using it well. You're using it well, man. And we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thank you, Daddy, for bringing them on. We finally got it done.
Finally.
Yeah. Good job to your mama.
He's got a show coming up in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, look out.
But he's got a ton of shows around before then. We're in March. I think you're booked and busy every single weekend now,
You
right?
should have ran the whole schedule down there. You should have ran it all down.
NathanMitchellMusic.com, Facebook, Instagram. He tells you all the dates. You all better go out and check him out.
And let me say this too. Anybody, especially young people that think that smooth jazz is And no knocking on the older guys that did jazz, and this is some new stuff here, y'all. This is some new stuff. They infuse R&B as well as jazz. They haven't gotten away from the concept, but they make it really, really, really fun for even the young people to identify with.
Yeah.
Take a chance, go out there and listen to something that makes some sense instead of all that other stuff. I'm not going to go there, but you know what I mean? Go out there and have some fun, man. Have some fun and discover something new. I want to thank the brother once again. This is Lesboogie One-on-One Show right here on Fresh Nation Radio. We will be on Saturday mornings on Fresh Nation Radio, WJON at 10 a.m. And this will be on all social media platforms, man. I want to thank Nathan Mitchell, Dahlia Manette, Tattletale. See y'all on the next one. Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Good night.